Check it out, all decorated for Christmas. Burns like, what's happening here? And we went ahead and got us all ready for the holidays. However, the subject of today's video is not this sled. It's a customer sled I'm rebuilding, but the sled I bought. Check this out. We got ourselves a Prox2. This originally was an 800 based off the VIN. It currently does not have an 800 in it. It's seen better days. Seat cover's pretty rough. Hood's pretty rough. Trailing arms, all that still look pretty good. It does have the walker ribbons up front and the center. It, however, has a Prox2 Pro or something like that in the rear. Yeah, the original 800 was removed. This is the first time I've actually looked under the hood in person. I've only seen pictures. So the hood hinges are busted. I think the hood's just chilling on here. And if anybody knows what the hell this is, I think it's a kill switch or something. I don't really know. It seems goofy to me to have a button down there when you got a button up here. So set the camera down. See, hood off real quick. Alrighty. Don't mind me tossing it. It is garbage. It's got the SLP intake. I was told, yep, sure shit. It's got a heel clicker clutch setup, I guess. I have no idea how this works. I don't know anything about that. So team secondary, which is stock. But they 700 swapped it, and the guy excuse me, the guy I bought it from got this on trade. He doesn't know anything about it. He never looked at it. It's got 4 bolts holding the head down, but it does have a 700 vest, which is likely blown up. Recoil rope sucked into the recoil, which really sucks on these Prox's, Prox specific, because of this. You have to pull the motor to take the recoil off. MBRP race can, and it does have the factory Polaris long track kit. Okay, so that's a one-piece rail to a 136. It moves the rear torque arm back. This is factory mounting. This is aftermarket, or not aftermarket, but with their kit, this is where the rear torque arm mounts. And it also uncouples the rear torque arm from the front torque arm. So this is more of a mountain setup. And then extensions off that, I think, to a 151. So this is a lot like my old orange Pro XR. Same rear suspension setup, but has a paddle rather than a finger track. So that's pretty cool. This might actually be a pretty neat little build. We might tear into this here in a moment. I paid $700 for it. Well, technically $500, and I paid $200 to have it delivered because they lived like 8 hours from me, and I didn't have to go anywhere to get this. Oh, that's nice. This CDI here means I can have perk reverse. Oh, maybe that's what this button's for. Never thought about that. I bet that's for the perk. Huh. Anyways, my uncle just showed up. His truck's loud, so I'm gonna get back to recording in a second. But yeah, for 250 bucks, I bought a good 700 non-vest from a 99. So has coolant bypass and all that. This might get swapped into that Prox. Just old school non-vest motor, simple as can be. All right, so I just went ahead and loosened the last bolts for the head. Let's see if we can pop it off. Let's see what we got going on in here. Still holding. Thought I had them all loosened. I was wrong. Which ones are open? Huh. Well, it's not looking too bad yet. It sure is stuck though. Oh yeah, okay. I can see some roughness here. Not too bad though. I'm not catching a finger on nothing. Fingernail. Yeah, okay. That piston's a little rough there. It ain't feeling too bad, but she don't turn at all. So it's making me think possibly a crank issue, but I might be able to take this top end and throw it on that non-vest and retain the vest, but I won't know until I actually get this thing tore apart and do a real look over on it, check everything out. But I mean, it ain't feeling that bad. Can't catch a fingernail on anything, which is general rule of thumb, because you almost always have a little bit of, they look like score marks, but they aren't actually ripped through the nick seal plating. Well, I guess that's that. Get this set back down. At least try to keep it covered. So I need a seat. I need to go through this motor, see what's really wrong with it. I need a hood. We might non-vest swap this because I paid $250 for that other motor. I got $700 of this. All in, I mean, if I leave it ugly, I'd be into this sled for under $1,000 with a non-vest 700 swapped in, which would work fine as long as I swap the stator and the magneto from this motor to the other one, so it has the right pigtail coming off the stator, be able to plug into all the wiring on this chassis. So it's all really easy. It seems a little more daunting to people that really don't do that stuff, but you got to remember, none of this is hard to do. It's all pretty simple. I mean, they're nuts and bolts, and as long as you got a torque wrench and basic tools, I mean, you know, feeler gauges, whatever, if you really get into it, and dial bore gauges and all that. But it's kind of a whatever. He said this was a heel clicker clutch kit on the primary. I don't entirely know a lot about that because I've never ran that style setup ever. I just leave my stuff in the stock configuration aside from springs, weights, helixes. You know, I'm not into cutting them out, putting crazy setups like that in them. But yeah, this is pretty cool. Got another Prox to go with the XR. I mean, I have had a Prox2, but I immediately parted it out, and I'm trying not to do that with this one. The last one I parted out right away because it was bull-nosed. The front was cut off, rolled up, and they shortened it, so the front of the sled ended like at the pipe, and it was just super ugly. And that's the only X2 I've ever had. So this is kind of cool. And one unique thing about the Prox2 that no other Prox ever had is the drive shaft. I don't know if you guys can see it, but it's got a big thick drive shaft. Yep, you can see it. And that is like the newer sleds would have, like the IQs, Fusions, and stuff like that. Now, this is the only Prox to ever receive the big drive shaft. So that's kind of neat. Little tech info that most people don't know about. But yeah, there you guys have it. Got a X2 on the channel. Let's see if we can do something with this and start another build.